Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come to this session. This is an Ask the Expert session to learn all about the conference that is coming up this July. We are so excited to be talking to you today and so excited to get some energy moving around this wonderful conference. So today we are joined by 4 board members, including myself. We can go around and maybe have everyone introduce themselves briefly. Joanne, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Joanne Lant. I live in New Jersey. I'm serving as the program chairperson for this conference. I'm so excited that we're going to be in person.
Woo.
Working on a really good program for you all.
Mm-hmm. All right, Penny.
Hi, I'm Penny Eccles. My family and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. This will be our 3rd conference in person and our 4th, if you count symposium, and we're looking forward to it.
And Minnie.
Hi, everyone. Minnie Lambert. I am coming from South Carolina, and I am in charge of the family activities for this conference.
Ooh. And how many conferences have you been to?
Way too many. No, I'm joking.
Love that.
I'm joking. I'm on my 7th year as a board member, so it should be my 5th conference, somewhere there. Not very many.
Nice. Joanne, what about you?
Everyone since 2003.
Nice.
So I'd have to do math.
Yeah,
Let's do that right now.
Nope. It is an evening.
No, Penny set us up for that when she said
I know.
how many she attended.
Well, Penny actually set me up very well because apparently we have been to all the same conferences, Penny and I. So I this will be my 3rd in person and 4th, if you include the on charge online. My name's Lily. I am a former member of the Charge Syndrome Research Lab at Central Michigan University. I'm a recently joined board member and super excited to be moderating today. So we're going to kick it off with Joanne talking about a little bit of a brief overview of the schedule. And just so you all know what to expect for the kind of topics that we'll talk about today, we'll talk about general scheduling, we'll talk about registration questions, we'll talk about travel, and we'll talk about camp. If you all have questions, a lot of you submitted them ahead of time. Thank you so much. So we're going to try to get to those. And if other questions come up, put them in the chat and I will, I'll ask them to the group. So Joanne, I'll turn it over to you and you can talk a little bit about what to expect at conference.
All right. Thanks, Lily. Wow, conference. It's overwhelming, but it's wonderful. I'm just going to give you a little bit about the structure. Pretty much most people arrive at some point on Thursday. The official conference kickoff would be Thursday evening with I'm going to lose my words here, with a reception where we try to have you facilitate you meeting people with kids your own age or people in your own region. But the heart of the conference is the sessions. We start each day with a general session, which is pretty much everybody in the same room. And, getting a keynote or some awards or, some housekeeping things. I have notes and I can't find them. The final general session on Sunday typically includes our adult panel. This year, we're also going to have a sibling panel in that last general session. And then, in both groups, we'll be happy to take questions from the audience. After the general sessions, we were going to have breakout sessions, which is really 5 sessions at the same time. And, you're one person, you can go to only one. So we'll have all this information available on our app, probably at the beginning of July. You have time to take a look at what you might be interested in and then make a plan. If you're coming with a partner or a caregiver, you could decide to do the same sessions. You could divide and conquer so that you can get all the information that you need. Just a little idea, some of the sessions that we're looking at for this time around, behavior strategies and challenging behaviors, feeding and swallowing. We know that's so important. Constipation, abdominal migraines, IEPs and educational supports, transition and adulthood sessions, including resources, and some of the basic medical stuff like vision and hearing that most people have to deal with in one way or another. I'll stop there and send it over to Minnie for what the kids are going to be doing through most of the stuff.
if
And then
that
just
has-
family activities.
If that hasn't excited you enough, hearing about all the amazing information you're going to be getting, Minnie has some things to entice you even more.
Yes, you can tell Joanne does not like to talk in public, even
That is
though
correct.
it's just 4 of us right here. But anyway,
And she's doing
Okay.
a great job.
and she is, as always. Okay, so I get to do the fun stuff. So like, why wouldn't I want to talk about that, right?
Minnie.
So Joanne gave a brief review of what's going to happen. And so on Thursday, midday, we do a pool party. It's one of the things that we started when we went to Orlando first, to this resort first, because everybody wants to be at the pool. So why not, let's do it all together. And so we're going to hang out at the pool, have some fun together, and then everybody will go their separate ways, and then we'll all come back together for our opening reception that Joanne was talking about, which is Thursday evening. And we will have some light hors d'oeuvres and things like that night. And then we will break up the room and give us a chance to mingle and talk with one another. And I think this year we're going to do it by ages. And so you'll be able to meet some other kiddos. You might be able to see some of those Facebook faces that you've met over the years that you never got to meet in person. And then as Joanne was talking, Friday, the worst thing about it is the adults go to school and the children go to camp. So, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper with camp in a few minutes. But on Friday evening, we will have our silent auction, which, here's where I'm going to stop and put that plug in for those baskets. I tried to get the liaisons to do baskets from their states. So if you sell anything, if you have anybody that owns a business, or you'd like to put a self-care basket or anything like that together, we have a sign-up sheet on our website, and we just ask for the baskets to be above $25 value. We have the room set up where the baskets will be in a line, and you'll be able to buy tickets. You'll take the tickets and pull them apart, and you can decide how many tickets you want to put in each basket. And at the end, it's a random drawing where we pull one of the tickets out of the little Chinese food container, and then it's just a fun game. But in order to keep everybody entertained and engaged and all of that, we don't just have the baskets. We are going to have brain teasers and baskets that night. When we did our online symposium, we had some trivia night, and it seemed really cool because that way we get to see how much do you know about the foundation, how much do you know about CHART syndrome, how much do you know about all of us that volunteer for the foundation. Do you know that I live in South Carolina? That might be one of those questions, so you might better listen. And then Saturday night, we will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the foundation, and we're going to party like it's 1993. And so we're gonna see how that's going to look. We're still in the process of getting all that, finalized. But if that's not enough, I don't know what is. We're going to party for all, yes, we're going to be tired. Yes, it's going to be a family reunion, but on Sunday, then we'll come together, we'll have breakfast, we'll have our last parts with our adult panels or whatever the program committee decides that we're going to do on that half a day on Sunday. And then we will all be sad because conference will be over and we'll go back to where we come from. And so now I done did the high and the low, so I'm gonna send it over to Penny and let her tell you a little bit more.
All right. Now, disclaimer, I'm not an expert on travel. I'm just simply a mom with anxiety and a traumatic past, right? So maybe you can relate to that. That's my claim to authority. When we traveled to Orlando last time from Las Vegas, I would just say that it definitely was transcontinental migration. I have 6 daughters. At the time, my oldest was gosh, she was still only 14, so Martha wasn't quite 4 yet. And it was a lot. We had a walker that we checked at the gate for Martha. We wanted her to have as much opportunity to be active and to roam around before we got on the long flight. She did need oxygen while she was sleeping, so we had a portable concentrator, and we also had her a feeding pump, her formula. There was a lot. So I've had a lot of questions from other families on how it worked. And so we didn't have suction at the time. She did not have a trach. So I'm not an expert on that, but I would just say to pack smart. Remember that any medical equipment, put it in a separate suitcase. Try and get it carry-on size so that you can take it with you on the plane, even if it's things you will not need to keep it with you, that it does not count as part of your baggage limits. To contact your airline with specific questions, to give yourself plenty of time and to give yourself plenty of grace. I have some links that I'll share after. One that I found like empowering for me was like the rights of those traveling with disabilities, like what your rights to privacy and to dignity are when you're traveling. And I think that knowing some of those things for me is power. It makes me not feel like I will be a hot mess, but it makes me feel like I belong and that my child has the right to be there, even if people stare or are curious, or I feel like I'm causing problems. So I really hope that you'll make the effort to come. I really want to meet as many of you as we can. If you have any other questions, you can for sure reach out to me. And like I said, we have some resources on accessibility and rules about that while you're flying.
All right, I'm going to be putting some things in the chat here about that Penny just mentioned. So hopefully these can be a resource for your family. All right, I'm going to go to a question that was in the chat, and this can be answered by any of you. Will there be a specific track or breakouts for adults with charge? Oh, Joanne, you're muted.
Of course I am. Yes, that's definitely a priority for us as our population of individuals with charge gets older. We need the conference to be as much for them as about them. So we have a few things in the works, can't really share it now, but we are working on it. Any individuals with charge out there who have specific ideas, please feel free. Joanne at chargesyndrome.org, and we can try to get you what you need or what you're looking for.
Awesome. Thanks, Joanne. All right, let's see. Oh, I see Brandon's on here. Hi, Brandon. Thanks for answering that question, Brandon. Okay, let's see. Joanne, could you talk a little bit about registration? We've got some questions that came in about that.
Okay, registration. Well, the registration has been open for about 2 or 3 weeks now. We encourage everybody to sign up as quickly as you can, as soon as you think you'll be able to attend. Scrolling through my notes to find the words. Everyone over the age of 3 months needs to register. All individuals with charge are free. If you're going to camp, again, free for individuals with charge, but there's an upcharge for camp. There is also a charge if you would like a one-on-one with your child while they're in camp. My biggest piece of advice is if your child is signed up for camp, find the table with corporate kids, the camp company, as soon as you get to the hotel. If you wait until Friday morning, it will be chaos. It will be crowded, it'll be busy, and then the parents will miss some content because they're still trying to sign their child up for camp. We have activities for, individuals with charge, typically developing siblings and, family members who may want to also attend. For typically developing siblings, they're usually done with camp by the time they're like 12 or 13, if you're an adult with charge, needs to be in camp, as some do, they can come regardless of how old they are. Am I missing anything? Probably, but right now.
I think, Joanne, if well, I can just say this piece. So, we have a lot of questions about the cost of registration and what that covers. And we know that looking at the cost, it can seem like, oh, that's pretty expensive. And we just want you all to know that as a foundation, we try as hard as possible to keep costs as low as we possibly can. And really, because we are really prioritizing trying to make sure as many individuals with charge come. And are able to attend for free, the actual cost of what you're paying for registration really doesn't even cover the full amount that it costs us for food. And so keep that in mind as you're doing this. We know that it's expensive, and we know that it can be a lot to come. But we hope that somehow you're able to make it work and come join our community and enjoy all of the hard work that everyone's been putting into it. All right, and we were go ahead, Penny.
No, I wanted to talk about camp just for a second. I've had kids, I agree, by the time my kids were 12 or 13, they did not attend camp. I was not always comfortable leaving them in the hotel room by themselves. It is a good walk away. So that's something that your family can decide for you. But I'll tell you that I always felt like my kids were safe. My kids enjoyed camp. There's arts and crafts. I don't know what's planned for this year, but there's been visits from fire trucks with the opportunity to spray the hose and to climb around the truck. There's been magic shows, petting zoos have come to visit. There's just board games to sit and play, to color. They watch movies. My kids have always really enjoyed it. And I've liked that the camp rooms are much closer to the general session meetings than the hotel rooms. And even Martha, when she did have to have oxygen when she was sleeping, she didn't need that because she didn't sleep at camp. But she was well taken care of. She zoomed around that room in her walker, and she had a great time. So that was our experience with camp. We always loved it.
All right.
I'm just going to pop in briefly about
Go ahead.
camp. There were two separate tracks. One,
I'll do
fire-
that.
You're gonna
Camp
do
is
that?
my
Okay.
part. I'll do that.
go for it.
Joanne, you're just jumping to talk more.
I'm getting to talk about the fun stuff, not
Okay,
y'all.
and then I'll go
That's
back to
my place.
registration details after that.
That's my place with the fun stuff. No. So as all of these ladies have been alluding to, we hire a company called Corporate Kids that comes in and does our camp for us. But we also know that our children come with their complex issues. So we also are seeking out, people that are fluent in sign language. There is no interpreters that are in camp. But we do try to make sure we have professionals that do volunteer their time in camp. And we try to make sure there will be one of those in every camp room. And as Joanne was fixing to tell you, and I nicely took the position back over, is that we have 2 tracks, and that will be Camp Explorer and Camp Discovery. So Camp Discovery, and maybe this will help you make your decision about, where they're going to go. Camp Discovery has a higher ratio of staff to children, and Camp Explorer, and we see a lot of the siblings and things like that going into Discovery. Camp Explorer is for the children that need a smaller ratio. And also remember what Joanne said earlier, there is a fee that you can pay and have a one-on-one, be able to be there exclusively for your child. And then, we get the comment, well, what's the age for camp? There is no age for camp. 1 day old, if you want to bring, we have cribs, we have nursing that will be provided in camp. The one thing that we will make sure that we tell you about camp is there is no food in camp. There is no feeding done in camp. Changing is sometimes done for the smaller ones, but most of the time what we like to do is have the parents called or text if they are needed to come and attend to their children. Now, that I'm going to segue, but I'm still going to talk about, there is very good cell reception in our conference space. And so it won't be that you're in a dead area where you can't get a text or you can't get a call. So we just know that, like Penny said, you will literally be like right there. The one thing that we will say about this space is there's the hotel, and then you walk over through the hotel to the conference space. It's almost like a main street area that has restaurants and all that kind of stuff, but it's enclosed. So there is no temperature changes. Everything is the same. It is a walk. We will say that 3 or 4 times. It is a walk. You know, the best thing that I get to see is all the little children with charge walking down with their little gait trainers and, you know, all that good stuff. That's why everybody wants to know why I volunteer. It's because of the children and the fun stuff. But the first day, like Joanne was saying, you always go early, because if you don't go early to check your child in, you may be late to open a session. It also falls into, well, many, if they're not going to eat, how do they eat? Well, we will break. When we first come together for breakfast, we will then say, okay, it's time for the children to go to camp. The parents will go and take the children to camp. We will come back, and then we'll have our opening session, or we'll have, you know, whatever's going to happen that morning. And then we have another break. So we try to have the breaks about 15 minutes, so you can walk down and check on your child if you need to, or that kind of stuff. And then when we break for lunch, everybody goes and gets their children from camp. We all eat together. We eat as a family. There is no professional lounge for somebody, you know, you're not going to be in like at the hospital where the doctors are in there where the windows are. No, we're all together. And that's the greatest thing about our community. And then the children go back to camp. Then we proceed with our PM side of our schedule. So looking over my list, there was a thing that says, you know, do I have to register my child for camp? Now, we've already talked about there's a registration fee, and then there's the registration fee if your child is going to attend camp. This does not pertain to children with charge because they are free. If you are going to bring the child's sibling, if that sibling has a disability, that sibling is just as welcome in camp as anyone else is. So there is nothing to say about that. We do prefer for you to send your child to camp. So we try to limit the distractions that are happening inside of the sessions, but we also know that, you know, sometimes we have to do what we have to do, and you're not going to be kicked out. Remember, family. Yes, I remember Andrew had a fit. Nobody, the people that were staring at me were wanting to know if I needed help, not staring at me like, oh my God, look at him, you know. So that's the gist of our conference. Camp has a daily schedule of activities through this corporate kids company. And like Joanne and Penny were talking, we have lots of things in the works that we will bring in. We've already in contact with corporate, you know, corporate kids is already going to be in contact with the Orange County Fire Department. That was Andrew's very first conference, and he loved being able to shoot that fire hose. So those kind of things. And then we do our best to, again, make sure there's somebody fluent in sign language inside each camp room, but we are not providing interpreters inside of that space because our interpreters are needed in conference. And I think that's all that I have for camp, unless you guys have some extra questions or if anything else comes in. And you just let me know when you want to talk about the hotel.
No, I know when Minnie was speaking, you mentioned getting together for meals. If your child doesn't eat solid food, there are blenders. There's going to be soft foods like applesauce and yogurt and things that'll blend easily. So you don't need to worry about carrying all that stuff with you. If we want to go back to registration for a moment, Lily mentioned that the registration fee really does not even cover the cost of meals. I was shocked when I found that out. So we do have 3 scholarships that are available to families. First thing I need to say is you need to be a member of the foundation to qualify for a scholarship. Next thing I need to say is take care of that really soon because the application deadline is April 1st. I just put in a link to the scholarship form. There are 3 different scholarships. The Norbury Scholarship named in honor of Marion Norbury, one of the founders of this foundation, 30 years ago. First-time conference attendees are eligible for this, and it covers registration. The Bluestone Scholarship is established in memory of a grandmother of a young man with charge. That is registration for, repeat attendees. So you're not out of luck if this is your second or third conference. And we also have a Charge for Connor Scholarship in memory and tribute to Connor Logsdon. And his parents are generous enough to cover hotel costs. So again, I put the link in the chat and take a look if you're in need of a little bit of assistance.
Thanks, Joanne. All right, well, we have been flying through all of our questions, and everyone keep the questions coming. These are great. There's a question from the chat. What meals are included as part of the registration fee?
We can start with Thursday. We've got a snack at the pool. We've got a light dinner at the reception, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Friday and Saturday. And there's, probably a coffee break, maybe with some cookies during each of those days. And then breakfast on Sunday, typically buffet style.
And I'm a food lover, but I gotta say, I have always loved the food at conferences. Like, I remember, I think my first conference I went to, I had the best grilled cheese of my life at the conference. It was good. I might be hyping it up too much, but I've always really liked it. All right. And so we have another question in the chat. Can a nursing assistant come and go to assist a child in camp?
Come and go. That's interesting. They'd have to be cleared. I guess like our volunteers need to be cleared at, a background check. I don't think that should be an issue, but we can find out for sure.
You would also want to make sure that that person is on your camp forms. You designate who is allowed to pick up and who is allowed to drop off. And so you'll want to make sure that that's all there. And then we would want to make sure that whoever comes is also registered, so they don't have to eat gross food. They can come and eat dinner with us.
But yeah, they definitely do need to be registered for conference. I'm assuming if they're coming and going, it means part of the time they'll be at sessions with us and learning.
Right. And the worst job that I'll refuse to have, but I'll gladly assign it to other people, is checking badges at mealtime, because our parties are cool and everybody wants to come, but we have to keep it where it's only for people that have paid to attend, because it would be bad if the people that came in got food and somebody that paid to attend did not. So that's the way that we keep it. And we don't want to have badge police, but sometimes we have to, those kind of things. But it's a great opportunity for people like me that like to talk to people, to stand out front and see everybody coming in, and all of those kind of things. When we were first planning this webinar, I was like, you will arrive at the Rosen Shingle Creek and you'll be greeted by one of your fellow charge community members, because you will be. I might be standing at the door. I can promise you Joanne will not be standing at that door when you walk in. She would hide if we tried to give her that job. But we do have people with charge that volunteer, that they want to man a spot, and they love to stand and just look at all the people coming in and greet them, and they get to see all of the other people like them. First time attendees, sometimes it gets to us, because my very first conference was the conference in Orlando. It was the first time I had ever been around another person with charge syndrome and other families. I cried when I got there because there were so many of them, and I cried when I left because I didn't want to leave. And so Penny is our volunteer coordinator for this conference, and she'll be glad to let anybody volunteer for any position that they want to, even if it is to check badges, going into meals and events and things like that. And I'm going to talk a little bit. I know we're jumping all over the place, but that's how we do here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the hotel, since we kind of segued into that. We will be at the Rosen Shingle Creek. Rosen, I might be saying it wrong, whatever. And so you can check out the website. Do not use the website to book your room, you book through the foundation's website so that you will get our discounted rate. There are plenty of rooms available right now, but those rooms could fill up. And one thing that we know, if you are planning to stay a few days after conference, the hotel is already completely sold out on the Tuesday after conference. So I only mention that to say, get your room reserved. That way we can make sure, we have our blocks, but that's the only rooms that we are guaranteed. As for amenities inside of the room, I'm happy to report that there are refrigerators, mini fridges in each room. You will be able to get a rollaway bed or a crib if needed, but it needs to be requested. Connecting rooms are available upon request. There is, if your child has a handicap placard, you can use valet parking at the hotel for free. And as long as you have your handicap placard with you, that's very important for those of us like my family that's driving. And so when you do register for conference, you will get a bag. Your conference bag will also have some discounts to some local places around in there. There is no shuttle or no transportation to Disney from this resort. There is a shuttle and transportation to Universal, but it's very limited. Remember, we do not control the hotel. That is not why we're there. We're there for our conference. Uber, taxi, and then there's car rental on site. If that is something that you're interested in, there is a concierge station there, and you can, I think the last time we were there, you could actually buy your tickets to Universal and those kind of things if that's something that you wanted to do. Wi-Fi, you have free basic Wi-Fi in your hotel room and also in all of the common areas of the hotel. I say that hotel only, not in the conference center. There is no Wi-Fi in the conference center. And we just want to make sure that we stress that there is very good reception in there. So if your phone and things like that still will pick up. And I think that's anything else about the hotel. That's all that I had. If you have any other questions, you can let us know, but, please refer to the hotel's website if there's anything specific that you need to know about amenities or about, connecting rooms. Sadly, when we think about how many people can be in the room, we are under the rules of the fire marshal. So when you hear us say there can't be but 4 people in the room or anything like that, remember that that's not foundation rules. We have to go by the rules of Orange County, Florida, and, Orlando. So a lot of this we may seem like we're making up some rules that don't make a lot of sense, but we have to go by local rules when we go somewhere. And also remember, we will not be the only group of people at this resort. So you will see other people there. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Minnie. Well, we've got a lot of questions coming in the chat here. If an adult sibling is coming as a paid caregiver, can they attend camp with the camper if they are registered for the conference as well?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was an easy one. All right. Is there a way we can make it easier for parents to pass or forego on the bellhops helping us with our luggage when we arrive at the hotel? We feel really strongly that we want to handle our own luggage, especially with the medical equipment.
I would say that when they approach you, when you get there, just say no, that you have it. Now, a lot of times if you're going to check in at any hotel and your room's not ready, they will offer to hold your luggage for you and do that kind of stuff. But you'll just have to communicate those needs, to those bellhops once you get there. Penny will tell you to advocate.
That is, that's definitely something we can have, we can bring up that we can communicate to the hotel. I think that there may be some families more comfortable handling that themselves.
Yeah.
To make them aware. So thanks for letting us know about that.
Yep.
All right. Are there laundry facilities we can use at the hotel?
Yes, there is.
Awesome.
It's a paid laundry in-house.
And I think we've all used them.
We have. Because that was
Perfect.
one of the things I looked up to make sure it was still there.
Mhm.
This hotel did also have a nice little arcade room and things like that. I know they've done some refurbishing and rearranging since we were there the last time, but that was a big hit with the teenagers, so it might still be there, but it's on the hotel side of things. And when you guys were asking about meals and things like that, there are different restaurants inside the hotel that, you know, the hotel part, and then it's like the main street that I was talking about. There are different places in there to eat. And I think that Penny's also going to talk about some of the things that are local there. Like across the, you know, the Publix is across the street if you want to. It's not across the street. Once you get out to the street, you cross the street and it's there.
It's about a 1 mile walk.
Mile.
Yeah,
Yes.
about a mile. Yeah, there's a
And Walgreens
Publix.
is just a little further down,
Right.
probably,
Yeah.
you know, a mile and a half. It's there,
Not in
but-
walking distance.
not in Florida heat.
Not 99 degrees walking distance.
And Lily just put in the closest hospital.
Publix. Yep.
And I just do really need to let you know also that the hotel does not provide transportation from the airport.
Right.
So you'll have to do, you know, Lyft or Uber or
Taxi.
rent a car, typically,
Or
right?
rental car.
Those are the
Yep.
pretty much the ways to do it.
It looks like Valerie has their hand raised. So Valerie, I'm going to click allow you to oh, maybe that was an accident. I just saw the hand go down. If you wanted to talk, put the hand back up and I will let you unmute. All right, let's see. And the next question is are car seats or lack thereof an issue with Uber in Florida?
I mean, I did a quick Google on this. Yes, they're required if the child's under the age of 5. You can check them. They do not count towards your luggage count. I would leave the rest of those decisions up to you. How big you think your kid is, how safe they need to be. You can request that for an Uber ride, and I don't have experience having used that, so sorry.
All right, let's see. Is it too late to change my arrival date for the conference? Arrive on originally it's scheduled to arrive on Thursday, but want to change it to Wednesday.
That's Brandon.
I
Yeah.
think you can easily, Brandon. Just, you should be able to modify your reservation with the hotel.
Yeah. If not, let me know and we'll get it taken care of.
All right. Will our child be able to wear assistive devices, including hearing aids and glasses while they're at camp?
Absolutely. Then they won't be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And I
If they
believe
want to be
there's
a cool kid.
I
Right.
believe there's a space on the camp form that they ask what
Yes.
kind of devices are there, so that at least you know
Yes.
somebody's helping you keep track of them.
Right. And that information, you will fill out all the information about your child and about any of their what I call accessories. And then, you know, if Corporate Kids has anything that they want to speak to you about or anything like that, you should receive a call, like just going through things before you get there, so they can make sure that they have all the information. Then once you get there, you get to have, and you register your child for camp, you get to have a cute little family picture. Anyone that is picking your child up has to be included in that picture. So it would be me and my son's dad and Andrew. All three of us have, you know, the first year I didn't do that. I sent him off to go do it. And he's like, I got to take a picture. So, and that is because we want to visually verify that your child is going with who your child is supposed to go with. So we try to keep them safe and, you know, all of that good stuff. But yes, they can have accessories. The only thing only thing we can't allow in camp is food. And that's because of the at risk for other people getting it that shouldn't have it. And we don't want anybody, you know, having issues.
All right, next question. For the camp, if we choose one-to-one care, will it be nursing, and will they follow my child's routine as far as naps?
I can jump on that. There is one nurse that oversees the camp, but she's not available to provide one-on-one. If your child needs a nurse, I think you need to arrange to bring one yourself. The one-on-one is typically, a childcare worker.
Right.
You can give them the schedule. I don't think anybody here can guarantee that it will be adhered to. I don't know how old your child is or if they would be interested in participating in the activities instead of taking a nap on schedule.
But Joanne, remember, I forgot, we have a sensory room at our camp. And so all of the children, some of the times, most of them like circle through the sensory room, but the sensory space is available there for those that need it. I know my child himself likes to go in and take over the hammock swings and, those kind of things. So that will be available for our kiddos as well.
All right. Do you have to pay for accessible parking by the day?
No, as long as you have your if you bring your handicap placard, valet parking and accessible parking is free. If you don't, you will have to pay to park and pay by the day. I'd have to look that up really quickly to see what that price is, but we just wanted to stress that if you do have a handicap placard, to bring it with you, because then it will be validated and you get it for free.
Are masks and COVID testing offered to people coming from out of the country?
I would think unless Florida requires it, and I don't believe they will, the foundation is not going to have any tests on site.
We're going to trust each other that if we don't feel well, we're not going to put anyone else at risk. And as a community, we're going to make that promise to each other that we're going to be well and take care of each other and ourselves.
Will there be photographers at this event?
Of course, there'll be photographers. You can't have a party without a picture. Yes, we will have photographers. And then on our Saturday night, when we are partying like it's 1993, we will also have photo booths and those kind of things. And I never really say this, but I think this is very important. When you walk in that room on Saturday night, you're going to see a DJ and you're going to see a lot of tents for like carnival games and things like that. You don't have to pay to play these carnival games. These carnival games are here. They're there for your children to enjoy. They're there for the siblings to play together. And, we're all just there to have a good time. So no, the only thing that is paid at these events is alcohol, because the foundation doesn't provide alcohol. And yep, pictures, lots and lots and lots of pictures. Because with us visual people, if it don't have a picture, it didn't happen, right?
So true.
Right.
Well, speaking of visual, Lily, do you want to?
Yes.
There.
Oh, good transition, Joanne. I love that. So we know that a lot of our kids really like to know the schedules of events and are probably maybe already even really, really wondering what is going to be happening. So we as a board are going to be working on a kind of just like a general visual schedule of events, especially the fun ones like the pool party and whatnot, just so your kids can know a little bit of what to expect. So we'll be posting that on likely the website and the Facebook pages, so that your kids can look at that and know a little bit what to expect. And then as we get closer, I'm sure you'll be able to show them the more detailed schedules that come up in the month leading up to the conference.
Yeah, Lily, that was a question that we had about whether we'll provide an agenda with the conference schedule and all that. So Joanne, you can talk about that, because I remember that was one that I saw that came in.
A specific agenda, hopefully. We're still working on it. I don't know at what point it's going to get up on the website, but it will. And then it will definitely be on the app, probably early July. And even before we have a specific agenda, once we notify the speakers that we have accepted their proposal, we will at least give you a list of the sessions that you can expect to see in July.
Perfect. There's a question about the two separate camp tracks, the Discovery and Explorer. Are siblings able to go to the Explorer camp, or do are we asking that siblings attend the discovery track only? Basically, they're asking if siblings can attend the same track as the individual would charge to provide kind of support and comfort.
Yeah, we have that a lot. Actually, when you register your child, you will choose which camp that they go in. So we're not going to be telling you where your child goes. This is a family event. So we don't want the sibling to be bored. But we also want them to be able to provide support if that's one of the things that they're comfortable with. Absolutely. It's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Will directories with everyone's contact information be handed out or only be sent digitally like at the last conference?
It's going to be digital, just as all the handouts are going to be digital. We may have a printed few pages overview so that you don't necessarily have to open your app when it's like, which session am I going to now? But pretty much everything is going to be digital.
All righty. Okay, well, we don't have any current live questions. We have about a little bit over 10 minutes left, so we could either, Joanne, go to some of the questions that had come up at the last Q&A, or we can talk about some general tips for surviving conference.
One thing I know that didn't come up is SIB shops. That's a typical half-day activity for siblings ages 8 to about 13. It's something that they really enjoy. In fact, my daughter enjoyed it so much that she progressed on becoming a junior leader, and now she's a certified SIB shop leader, and she will be one of the two working at this conference. It's a great way for younger siblings to meet each other. A lot of the sibling groups that you'll see at conference, they met at a SIB shop, and it's a great way for them to connect and understand that they're not alone. They share, I don't know what they share, because what happens in SIB shops stays in SIB shops, but the kids all have a great fun experience. You sign up when you register for conference on that. It tends to be popular and members will get priority. So, we've already discussed a few things. That membership definitely has its benefits for SIB shops and for scholarships in particular. So I put the membership link in the chat a while back, and we will share all these resources after the webinar. So don't worry about writing everything down.
Yep.
And then we had a couple more questions come in. Will the directories be sent digitally by email?
I don't know that we've worked that out yet. The app is new for us, and we'll see how it works. But you can definitely interact with other attendees on the app, and I would imagine you probably can download it, and we will definitely download it as a foundation so that we have a record of who's attended.
Perfect. And what is the name of that app?
It's through Cvent, which is the company that manages our proposals and our registration.
Perfect.
So when the time comes, we will share that information.
That's not the name of it.
Yeah, you won't find the program there yet. The app is owned by the management company, and our programming is not there yet, but we'll let you know when it is.
We still got to figure that part out.
This is an ongoing process.
We are a work in progress around here.
All right, one more question. So if our child requires one-to-one nursing care, but our nurse is unable to join us at the conference, our child will be with us during the lecture since there's no nursing there.
Yes, if that's what you prefer.
And no one will judge you. We will check out your setup though. I always like to see what bags people use and how you attach everything to your stroller. So that's the only reason I might stare.
And
it's not uncommon to hear suction machines.
Suction machines don't bother us. Feeding poles don't bother us. Yeah, no. Yeah, you have to kind of you have to do it to understand it, because
it's all good. It's all part of the family.
It's a family.
I just want to encourage everyone to come and take a deep breath, to have grace for yourself. I know, looking back at the first conference that I went to, It was intense. I was not my best self because I was completely overwhelmed emotionally, and also trying to, manage all my kids and make sure everybody was happy. So come with that expectation for yourself to just soak in the experience. All of the handouts will be available to you when we leave. Your state liaison will still be your state liaison when you leave, and they have been tasked with gathering resources and coming up with some next steps for all of you to make things work when you go home. So come and just be part of the family and enjoy being in a room with people who understand what your life is like, and don't worry about the rest.
Right.
We've
And
all
just
been
know
there.
that, yeah, and just know that the only people that we hire to be there is those camp people. You're going to see us running around like, little crazy people, because somebody has to put this conference on. And we are very committed to our community and making sure that all of us, have a great experience. Don't forget your walking shoes. Don't forget you're going to Florida. Don't forget it's going to be hot. And let us know, if you guys have any more questions, anything else that comes up. Penny is putting one more plug in there for her volunteers. And just know that we need volunteers for everything. We do not have a company that puts our conference on, because we try to save money as much as we can. And we need volunteers for everything. I'm going to say one more time about those baskets, that the basket part of our conference is just so fun. And, when we remember when we used to have DVDs and we do sign in time baskets and, all of that kind of stuff. And then the one year we decided everybody was going to do gift cards. And so we made posters where it was like a night out, and we put a bunch of restaurant gift cards together or Amazon gift cards together. So, if your family asks, is there anything that they can do, gift cards that, you can put those in your purse or in your bag or whatever and bring them with you. We can make it fun and fancy. You can make it fun and fancy. We will have a dedicated room of little busy bee volunteers that will be in there trying to make baskets. That is where you will find Joanne, because that's what
Most
she
likely.
likes to do. And there will be some other volunteers that Penny has in there. Penny, could you talk? I know we're almost out of time, but could you talk some more about, volunteer positions and
No,
what we
we've
can
got, we'll need help with registration and check-ins if you're available before conference. We'll need help hustling baskets back and forth from storage to the venue. We've asked for communication facilitators in conference. If you're able to give a 4-hour shift, or you're bringing someone with you that is able to sign at a communication facilitator. We're not asking for interpreters. We know that our kids just need some help being understood. So don't feel like if you don't have some kind of high level signing skills, but if you work with your own kid, you'll be fine if that's something that you'd like to be able to do. And we need badge checkers if you've got a little bit of an authoritarian streak in you, to make sure that everyone's paid for that food that's so delicious. If there's something else that interests you, fill out that form that I've sent to you, and I'll contact you about 45 days out from conference, and we'll get you scheduled.
And greeters, don't forget about those
Oh,
greeters.
I know there's always
us,
something.
Us
There's
people
always
talkers have to
something.
talk. We've
And
always something to do.
It
Always
does,
something.
it does look like someone said that the volunteer form does not show an option to be a greeter at the pool or the opening reception or registration. How can they specify that on the form?
I think I have a space for comments somewhere. I can always modify it if there's not.
Perfect. All right. Well, get any last burning questions in now. Otherwise, please reach out to us as board members. We'd be happy to continue to answer questions. And we're just really excited that there's such a good group of people here that are already asking so many good questions. That tells us that you are really looking forward to come in, and we're excited to see you and meet you if we haven't met you yet, and get to see you again if we have
2 quick things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Florida resident, anyone who works with your child during the school year, or even a family member, is definitely welcome as a volunteer. As Penny said, communication facilitation, they don't need to be fluent in sign. They can just know enough to help your child and maybe another child get their needs known. and we didn't mention it all, Professional Day. We have a group of dedicated professionals who generously give of their time and share their research, and they're part of the family, as you know, as, oh, who said that? Minnie. They're not separate from us. You know, they come and sit down and have lunch or dinner with you. Professional Day takes place on Thursday. It's intended, you know, for professionals, but if you really are interested in the program, you can pay an extra fee and attend that. But know that unlike at the main conference, there's really not the opportunity to talk to professionals about your specific situation during Professional Day. Just so, you know, if you head to the registration form and you don't know what Professional Day is, now you know.
And I'll say, as a professional, my absolute favorite part of conferences is getting to hear from families and families coming up and standing at our poster presentation and saying, oh, that makes sense. Like my child does that, or, oh, you should do this. We get like all of our research ideas from conferences, and it is so meaningful. I mean, as professionals, I can say that there's barely any fields that you get to come and talk directly to the families that you're working with. So it's extremely meaningful. And please, any professional that's coming to the conference will love to hear from you. So definitely approach anyone. If you see me, I'm also a talker. Please approach me. I'd love to talk and get to know you.
Same here. I'd be really sad if people didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
Really, really sad.
Mm-hmm. And we've got another guest expert here, Martha.
Martha.
Having a disagreement with her sister.
That's
Ruth,
okay.
hi.
Oh, sisters. Hi, Martha.
Are you ready for conference
What conference?
in Florida?
Yeah.
What kind of conference are you going to?
Sarge.
George.
What is the conference?
Oh, were you
Where?
talking about the schedule?
See, that's the question. Where
July.
and when?
Well, all right. We are just out of time, but hopefully this answered some of the questions that you had about the conference. Thank you all for taking the time to come today. Please reach out if you have additional questions, and we're so excited to see all of you.
Can't
And
wait.
Lily, that would be info@chargesyndrome.org if they have any additional questions, or you can feel free to reach out to some of us, Joanne, Penny, or Minnie at chargesyndrome.org,
Awesome.
or Lily.
Thank you all for attending. Can't wait to see you in Orlando.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get our sunscreen ready.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bye, everybody.